Good evening, Terry.
I own a motel not too far from you, and you'd be welcome to spend the night in one of the empty rooms if you'd like.
It burns! Oh, it burns! And I'm the devil.
You are a bold and courageous person, afraid of nothing. High on a hilltop near your home, there stands a dilapidated old mansion. Some say the place is haunted, but you don't believe in such myths. One dark and stormy night, a light appears in the topmost window in the tower of the old house. You decide to investigate, and you never return.
And welcome to another exciting episode of the Necronomicast. This is a special one. This is Necronomicast On Assignment, where you'll be joining myself and Zip, Doug, and our friend Harlan as we traveled from Omaha, Nebraska, all the way to Atchison, Kansas, to investigate the world-renowned Sallie House, rumored to be not only one of the most haunted locations in the Midwest, but all of the United States. So, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, we did not capture any EVPs that I know of, and I don't think we captured anything on our night vision cameras. But we did have one hell of a time. We had a great tour with Joe, our tour guide. Gave us a lot of local history, going back to the 19th century and the roots of the town and everything, and the roots of the mysterious hauntings at the house. We met some people from Atchison. We'll talk to you a little bit about that later. And we checked in with our digital recorder throughout the course of the evening at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning, just to kind of give everybody a heads up as we investigated the Sallie House. So the next thing that you're going to hear is our tour guide, Joe, giving us the lay of the land in Atchison, Kansas at the Sallie House.
There's two stories of Sallie. The sugar-coated one where she got operated on in the late 1800s, early 1900s by Dr. Finney. That was not the true story. Yes, he was a prominent doctor here in Atchison, but he was the head honcho of the Ku Klux Klan in Atchison. There was 13 that ran this town. They owned this street. Basically, they ran this town. Oh, yeah.
The Klan.
And the Klan was huge here. And this is one of the scariest things I've ever heard. I've done this 5 years. Last year, we were in the basement. We were downstairs, and you'll hear this thing go.
Get out?
Get out. And the video shows where the girl put it up on the side wall. A black mass shadow came out of the hole in the basement and followed her upstairs. It has a mind of its own. The thing in the basement isn't of this earth. I'm going to let you know right off the bat. You can smell it sometimes, and when it smells like sulfur and you smell like rotten meat, that's when it's really ticked. And I've seen that happen. I was on the trolley last year, and like I said, I've done the trolley tours 5 years. I've done this 5 years. Never been attacked. I was on it last year, and I felt like something just stabbed me in the back of my leg with a hot iron. It hurt like hell, but I couldn't do anything because I had 27 people on the trolley. So I get back to the chamber. I pull up my pant leg. I got 3 deep claw marks in the back of my leg. And it looked like it stopped bleeding because it just looked like it was burnt. And then 4 days later, it was gone. It was really creepy. We've seen marks on people's faces, and it just disappears. We had people from Johnson County come, college students, a couple years ago with a group. One of the students got possessed because they were taunting. They were downstairs, and they were running their mouth, and I'm like, dude, don't poke a bear.
Yeah.
Don't poke a bear. Do not poke a bear. And that's what I always tell people. Regardless of whether you believe in it or not, just respect it. And I've seen a 200-pound man in the upstairs bedroom get picked up and thrown up against the window by something that wasn't there. When your feet lift the ground and there's nothing there that you can visibly see that's picking you up, yeah.
That's messed up. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Now, they say that Sallie is buried at Mount Vernon Cemetery in the black part of the cemetery, which is a little dirt path, and it's covered up pretty much, but that's where she was buried. And of course, St. Joseph, Missouri, that nut house up there that's now a museum, is where he put his wife because he had the money to do it. To keep her mouth shut. Yep. That closet right there is where we get a ton of EVPs.
This is the closet.
3 years ago, a little girl went in there and she shut the door, and we didn't know where she was at. And she was in here playing with Didn't even know the story. And then she's like, yeah, I'm playing with a little girl named Sallie. We're like, duh. But this room can get heavy, but that back room can get intense. And like I said, you know, a lot of the founders here, they're not big on me telling that, but I like to do it because I don't like to give people some kind of sugarcoat. I just straightforward. And I think that's why the spirits in here kind of respect me, because I'm not giving them the sugar-coated garbage. You know, of a girl being operated on, I'm like, I can't do that. That's just not me. I don't think it's fair to her. I just throw the facts in, and they're like, oh, really? Like the graveyard here. You ever heard the story about the graveyard?
No, let's hear
Did
it.
you see the Cray Mansion while you're here?
No, we just rolled in and found
4th Street, look for the Cray Mansion. It's on 4th Street. That was the Atchison's first cemetery. Now, this is how ignorant these people were. They moved the bodies to another location because some guy wanted to build a mansion there. So they exhumed the bodies, shit you not, and they built a mansion there. So the second location, another rich farmer came along and said, well, I want this land, you need to move the bodies. It's called Block 56. It's crazy. Maple and O Street. There's over 100 bodies still laying there. Because they took the tombstones, but they didn't remove the bodies.
So yeah, everybody, that was Joe. That was our tour guide at the Sallie House in Atchison. Next up, you're going to hear us checking in on our digital recorder throughout the course of the evening as we investigated the house. You're going to notice some repetition because we were just doing it on the fly and we didn't know how this was all going to layer together for the show. For what it's worth, here's us checking in throughout the course of the evening into the wee hours of the morning at the Sallie House.
Here we are. It's Necronomicast On Assignment at the Sallie House in Atchison, Kansas.
Atchison, Kansas.
Sure. This is Brian.
This is Zip.
Doug.
And Harlan.
Harlan is our friend and fellow paranormal investigator weirdo that we love to hang out with. He probably constructs and cooks the finest best burger that you can have on a ghost hunting expedition. We're here for this show tonight investigating the Sallie House. You might have heard about it through paranormal investigation TV shows such as Ghost Adventures and the upcoming Ghost Hunters, as well as what's the one with the psychic?
Paranormal Witness is on that.
Paranormal Witness, the Dead Files. So we're just starting this investigation. It's about 9:30 at night. We just ate dinner. We're going to be recording some EVPs and whatnot, and anything that we find on this evening, we will be sure to put on the show. Anything else, boys?
We got here at, about 7 o'clock? 7:30?
Or so, yeah.
And we met the guy that's sort of the tour guide of the house, and he took us down the basement and told us all about the demon that's there, and supposedly it threw Zach Baggins across the room.
The guy from the Ghost
The guy from Ghost Adventures against the wall, that they didn't show that on the show because, according to our guide, he was chicken.
Yeah, he didn't want to. He looked really bad getting thrown around.
It seems silly to me that you would have that good of evidence and not want to show it on your show, but
yeah, me too.
seems how their show doesn't have a lot of good evidence. That's kind of keeping with the theme.
So we're kind of keeping. It sounds like we're having a little bit of a skeptical but open vibe.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to believe that the stories that we've heard are true, but here we are nonetheless driving.
Supposedly people get scratched in the basement. Supposed to be a pretty powerful demon down there. We'll investigate that soon.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a little girl, maybe a few little girls here, perhaps a ghost of a slave that was murdered here.
With sewing knife or scissors. Right here in this very room
that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
We did learn a lot about the segregationist, pro-slavery history of the town. Apparently there was a large segment that moved here during the Kansas-Missouri skirmish that happened back just prior to the Civil War, and there were a lot of millionaires, very top-end pro-slavery people here in Atchison, Kansas. So.
Right, and that kind of contributed to like the old money pushing their weight around the town, like uprooting and disturbing the graves of
Those who were here before. Like Ryan from the movie Poltergeist.
Right, but he did say they moved the body, so that's a little bit different, but still.
For one thing.
Yeah, but not the second time.
Yeah, that's right. That's
The
right.
second time they just moved the stones and built right over top of the bodies.
So that's it. We're going to be checking in with you a couple times throughout the night, and hopefully if we have anything interesting to report, we shall do so.
Yeah.
So keep listening to the podcast. We're just signing off right now, but we'll chime in a second. It's the magic of technology.
This is Remote Necronomicast Part 2. This is Zip.
Hi, this is Brian. Doug here.
And Harlan. We're all upstairs in the other room. We, since you last heard from us, we hung out downstairs and we went down to very down in the basement and tried to catch a vibe down there, and nothing really happened. And so we went to the dining room where I thought I felt a cold spot, but I don't really know. It seemed like there was a little cool breeze coming from my right.
Leaky windows.
Could be that. It's pretty warm here, so it's hard to say if it was a cool breeze or not. But nothing's happened yet that we've noticed.
We're going to check in on the odd hours, so we'll get back to you at
1 a.m.
3.
And yeah, so we'll let you know next time if anything happens.
At
See
the
you
very
later.
least, I'm going to go see a house that has 13 chimneys. It's up the street.
And there you have it. We'll see you in an hour or two.
Don't laugh at me.
So this is Brian checking in on the Necronomicast. It is, what time is it? Anybody going to watch? Doug?
12:30ish.
12:30. We are in the basement now of the Sallie House. We just had some kind of EVP session with a camera trying to provoke the spirit, or the entity as it's called. Earlier in the night, our tour guide Joe told us that Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures was actually picked up and thrown in the basement, and we haven't even heard a mouse squeak yet. So we are going to continue investigating throughout the night. Scott, did you have something?
No, this is boring.
Cut right to the chase.
Cut right to the chase. So we'll
Let's
check.
talk about the tweakers.
Yeah, this is kind of funny. Some residents of the town, I guess, had
Knocked on the window.
scared
The hell out of me.
Scared Doug.
I ran across this. The whole
There was 3 of them, and they had the teeth of probably 2 adults, and they proceeded to tell us how scared this place was, and asked us if we knew it was haunted. And
all
we
the
said, "What?"
videos are on the YouTube.
It's on the YouTube, and we kind of fended them off and kind of pretended we didn't know what they were talking about. And then they asked if they could come in, and well, you know, honestly, if they were better looking, we probably would have entertained the idea.
Later and sacrifice them down here.
Right, because maybe something would have happened. But as it turns out, they probably had to go meet up with Walter White and Jesse Pinkman or Tuco or one of those guys and score some blue meth. But, so here we are in the basement of the Sallie House, and we will check back in a little
3
bit.
o'clock.
Yeah,
3 o'clock.
I guess 3
Devil
o'clock.
hour.
The devil hour.
Bring it on.
All right, everybody. It's 2:20 Central Standard Time in the morning. And so we're still here at the Sallie House, and we're taking a break from not ghost hunting, but watching the movie 1992's Captain Ron, starring Martin Short and Kurt Russell. Why are we watching Captain Ron? Well, there is a
Very good reason.
Yeah.
It's here.
there's like a stack of movies that are in a kind of a cabinet that this hand-me-down TV is sitting on, and so where there was no paranormal activity whatsoever, we
Took it upon ourselves to entertain ourselves.
so this is a very strange trip. We are reporting all of this ghost hunt activity on a podcast that deals with horror movies, and the movie that we're watching is Captain Ron, a romantic comedy.
Is this a rom-com? I don't think I think it's just com.
I bet there's a shark later.
Well, let's hope that there's some kind of...
It is horrible.
It is horrible.
So,
Doug's playing with stuffed animals,
I love this animal.
and we're
I made friends with him.
We're going to go upstairs and see if we can find anything.
because it's approaching 3 o'clock in the morning, which is the most evil time.
That's where the devil happens.
Right, so something might happen. We'll report back to you soon here on the Necronomicast, live at the Sallie House.
Bye.
Captain Ron.
And we're back. Hey, didn't that sound like fun? Well, it was. Even though we didn't capture any paranormal activity, it was good for us to get out of town and go to a place and try and touch the ethereal plane, I guess you would say. So on behalf of our hosts Wayne and Lori, Zip and Doug, this is Brian, and I hope you enjoyed listening to our little Necronomicast on assignment at the Sallie House.
You've been listening to the Necronomicast, a weekly podcast produced by Wayne Brecky, part of the Free Life Media Network. For show notes and other information, go to necronomicast.com.